Hey Greg, let's talk bourbon. All right, first I want to give you an update on what's going on with the channel. So, I haven't released a video in about a month. What's been going on? Well, I have, last month or so, I've had back-to-back vacations, which have been great for me, gave me some time off. Unfortunately for the channel here, I'm a one-man show, so I don't have, other people to fill in and do stuff for me. So if I'm on vacation, well, then there's nobody to do anything. But it's not like that I haven't been drinking whiskey. So in between these vacations, I've been kind of enjoying taking a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a break. And what I've done is I've kind of gone through my collection. I've got over 100 bottles that are open, another 20 or 30 that are not open. And I've been going through and finding the bottles that are, getting really near the bottom and deciding, those need to get drank up, right? So I've been drinking those up. And then I've also gone through my collection and discovered that, I have about another 7 bottles that I probably don't need anymore. They kind of, in blinds, they've not done well. And I've just kind of decided for one reason or another, I don't really need them anymore. So I've been trying to drink them up. And what I discovered is that while I'm doing this and I'm trying to drink up these bottles that, let's face it, they're just kind of average. That's why I'm getting rid of them. And so while I've been doing this, I've been like, I'm getting bored. I want my good stuff, right? I got all these 100 some bottles here that are just fantastic. And instead I'm drinking these, same 6 or 7 bottles that are, So anyways, I started doing this thing where I would pick one good bottle that I would, take a drink or two from, along with the other ones, so that at least I got something good that I'm drinking, and I'm reminding myself, that's why I love this bottle, right? So I was doing this just this last week, and I decided, happened to pick Disco 11 off the shelf, right? Bardstown Discovery Series, number 11. And I drank it. You know what? I'm going, it's good. I remember, I haven't had that bottle in like 8 months. It's good, but is it that good? Is it as good as I remember? How would this do in a blind now? I mean, I think I did have it in a blind, 8-10 months ago. And I think it did pretty decently in those blinds, but I haven't put it in a blind at all anytime recently. And so that kind of inspired me. Disco 11, it's a blended bourbon. And I've got some other blended bourbons around here, including I had 3 blended bourbons sitting around that weren't open yet. And so that's what I got in front of me here today. I went and I've got here the Bardstown Discovery Series number 12. And then I also had 2 others. I have the Yellowstone, the Yellowstone 2024 limited edition. And then I've got Chattanooga's the Founders 12th anniversary bottle here. So, stumbling all of my words here. Sorry about that. But I have these 3 blended whiskeys here, blended bourbons here, and I've got another 5 on the shelf, including the Disco 11. And okay, that sounds like a nice 8-way blind, right? So I opened up these 3 bottles, and so here we are. They're very different bottles. We've got the Chattanooga Founders, which is about a $55 bottle. We've got the Yellowstone 2024 limited edition, which is about $100. And we've got the Disco 12, which is about $135. So, different price ranges, but they're all blended bourbons. The Chattanooga is 88% is a couple of different whiskeys, bourbons that were distilled by Chattanooga. And the other 12% is some MGP undisclosed as to exactly which mash bill it was. The Yellowstone here is also undisclosed. I do say that it is a blend of 2 bourbons. One is a 7-year and one's a 17-year. Apparently both made by Yellowstone, but I'm not entirely certain of that based on the label. And they took one of those bourbons and finished it in cognac casks, and the other one was finished in brandy casks. So, and then they were blended together. So this one's finished, right? And then, of course, the third one here is we have the Disco 12, which is only 8% Bardstown. It's a Bardstown 6-year. It's their wheated bourbon. Otherwise, they've got in here 3 other bourbons that are all sourced from Kentucky, but they're not made by Bardstown. And they are 14 years, 10 years and 10 years. So we got a blend of 4 bourbons in this one. And so I opened them all up a couple days ago. Wanted to let them get a chance to breathe a little bit. Wanted to make sure I didn't have neck pour issues. Wanted to be able to give them an opportunity. So the idea here is that I'm going to be doing, my next video will be an 8-way blind with these 3 along with the others that I have around here. And I'm going to see basically how good is Disco 11. That's what I'm headed for. But today I thought I would kind of do an introduction on these, right? Kind of tell you my thoughts on what these new bottles that I've opened up. And they're, like I said, they're very different. They've got 3 different price ranges, 3 different distilleries. Wow. I got to tell you, I have already tasted them. I've already got a few thoughts on these, but they are really, all 3 of them are really nice. Okay, the Founders, I picked this out while at the distillery there in Chattanooga, right? I did a flight there in Chattanooga. Their single barrel that they were running at the time is a lot like the single barrel that I have on the shelf. I have an experimental single barrel from Chattanooga. It's very kind of a dark bourbon with all the prunes and dates, but very sweet. So with that single barrel that they're doing, I just thought it was too similar to the one I already have. But I did, in my flight, really like this Founders. Their 12th anniversary blend here. And it clearly has that single barrel in here. Well, maybe, whether it's a single barrel or not is up to question. But that mash bill, right? Because I definitely get the prunes and the dates here in this glass from Chattanooga. But it's also very sweet, and it having been blended, it has lightened it up a lot, right? So while the prunes and the dates are there, it's not all about the prunes and the dates. It's also got some really nice spice flavors, and also a real nice sweetness. But the sweetness in this one is, like I said, this is kind of in the darker range of bourbon. The sweetness is more of a granular sugar. It's quite tasty. Maybe also a little bit of brown sugar in there. But even though that there's a good level of spice in this, it's not overpowering at all. It's not very oaky. It's quite nice. One thing though that I do notice about this that becomes evident when I move to these more expensive bottles. These older whiskey bottles, right? They have older bourbon in them. This one here, there's nothing on here that says it's more than 4 years old. So it's probably all 4 to 5 year bourbons in this blend. It kind of tastes that way. So it does come across, while it's a very nice nose, a strong nose and a strong palate, it's definitely kind of smacks you upside the face and wakes you up and says, hey, wow, we're drinking bourbon, right? But at the same time, and it does have nice legs, but at the same time, it's not as thick. It's not as syrupy. It doesn't coat your mouth as well. And it kind of you can tell it's a 4-year bourbon, right? It just kind of comes across that way. So you can tell it's younger. when you start comparing up against these other two. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Yellowstone. Again, I said the Yellowstone is a blend of two bourbons, a 7-year and a 17-year. I'm not 100% certain that they're both from Yellowstone. The way they word it on the bottle is interesting. They say that the bourbons are distilled in Kentucky, and then they give the location of where it was bottled, also in Kentucky, but where it was blended and bottled. So I just found that interesting in the way they word it. Now, I know that, Yellowstone is... I don't see why that wouldn't be their own, that's coming from their own distillery. But nonetheless, it's a 7-year and a 17-year, and one is finished in cognac casks and one is finished in brandy casks. Beyond that, it doesn't give you a hint as anything more about it. I will tell you that the nose on this is a little lighter than what's on the Chattanooga, but it's a really nice nose. It really comes across very strongly that it's finished, right? You get one whiff of this, and you go, well, that's definitely finished. And it's tasty. The finishing is a little strong in it, and as a result, it kind of hides a little bit some of the bourbon notes. It is sweet. The bourbon itself, you can taste, is kind of vanillas with maybe some pears or some apple, and it's got a little bit of the baking spice to it. But then there's those notes that you get from finishing. It definitely has. Well, tastes like a little bit like brandy. There's a little bit of that brandy note to it. Unmistakable. It's really nice. It's really enjoyable, and it tastes, when you compare it to a younger whiskey like the Chattanooga, it tastes more sophisticated. So would I say that the Yellowstone is indeed worth $100 compared to the $55 Chattanooga? Yeah, I would say so. I would say that the $100 is probably a pretty decent price for it. It's very tasty. That brandy influence / cognac, right? It keeps making me a little bit reminiscent of Angel's Envy. Keeps popping in my mind, right? Angel's Envy has a port finish. Obviously, port wine is a lot different than a cognac and a brandy, but still, for some reason, my mind keeps trying to make parallels there. It's very tasty. Now, third here, brand new, open bottle here. Trying it out, hoping that these 3 bottles here are good, hoping that I didn't make any mistakes when I bought them, right? Because I got to tell you, the Yellowstone, I bought this on a flyer, $100 flyer. I just saw it in the store. It's supposed to be an LE. I got to tell you, my history with Yellowstone is very, very short one. All I ever had done before buying this bottle is I had seen their $25 bottle at a bar. And I said, hey, I'd like to try that. And you know what? I didn't like it that much. It was okay. It was maybe a little below average. But then, it was their $20 bottle, right? $25 bottle. So this, on the other hand, I don't know. I heard a couple of good things about it. It had a decent review in Distill, an app that's online, right? And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to give this a try. And I just went for it. I hadn't tried it before. I am pleasantly surprised. It is good. The only thing I worry about with it is that maybe the nose is a little bit weaker. Not a lot, but it's a little bit weaker. And the palate is also a little bit subdued, just a little bit. Maybe I'm being influenced by the fact that the Chattanooga is so strong. But it's very nice, very tasty, tastes sophisticated, has a better mouthfeel than the Chattanooga. Coats the mouth better. Therefore, it gives you that longer finish, right, in your mouth. It's nice. I'm pleasantly surprised on this. Whereas, with the Founders here, I tried it before I bought it. On the Yellowstone, I just took a flyer, and it worked out. It's good. Would I buy the 2025 LE if I see it? Yeah, I probably will. All right, moving on. The first thing I did when I tried the Disco 11, as I was talking about a few days ago, and I'm like, I don't know, is this that good? So the first thing I did is I said, well, you know what? I got the Disco 12 sitting there. It's still not open. I grabbed it off the shelf, opened her up, tried it side by side with Disco 11, and I gotta tell you something. This is significantly better than Disco 11. This is beautiful. I mean, even right now. Do I like the Yellowstone? Yeah. Do I like the Founders? Yeah. This kicks their asses. I'm telling you, this is so good. It smells. Okay, first, just on the nose. It's gorgeous. It's middle range type of fruits, like stone fruits. Actually, I get more than that. On one hand, I get like more like a peach. But on the other hand, I also get something darker, like some raisins or dates. Probably I would go with dates. Granted, this is a blend of 4 whiskeys, so it's going to have different flavors going on, right? It's going to be more complex. Spice-wise, there's cinnamon, there's baking spices, but just right in proportion, right what you're looking for. And at the same time, though, but it's not oaky. So it's got the spice, but it's not oaky. So good. And then for sweetness, it's got caramels. I think I sense a little bit of vanilla above it. There's a little confectionery sugar. And yet those caramels, though, also kind of run deep and get kind of, I don't know if they quite get down to brown sugar, but maybe gets kind of close. So there's something in this blend that is bringing in the darker notes, the dates and getting close to brown sugar. Well, there's something else in here bringing in higher notes that are, giving you that vanilla and that peach and so forth. It's just beautiful, gorgeous. And the palate, so smooth. It's just great. It is exactly what you're looking for in a bourbon. It really is. It's right down the middle. They did a great job of balancing this. A lot of those flavors come shining through. On the palate, it also gets a little bit of a graham cracker as well, in addition to the fruits and the spices and sweets that I mentioned earlier. And it's also, it's got great legs, but it's very oily or syrupy. And it has a great mouthfeel. It just really coats the mouth. Love getting, splashing it around my tongue. It stays for a long time. It's perfect. When I tried the Disco 12 side by side against the Disco 11, okay, the Disco 11's good, right? I got to tell you a quick story. When over a year ago, my brother and I were in Louisville, and we were at the Bardstown location there. And Disco 11 was out then, right? And we did a blind of Discos 9, 10, and 11. And oh my gosh. Now, I'm sure you probably have all heard this before about Disco. The word is that 1 through 4 were really good, and that 5 through 10 were not very good. And then after that, 11 and 12 have been great. And I hear that 13 is coming out, and 13 is supposed to be also good. I don't have 13 yet. So, but I'm telling you, okay, 11 definitely in my flight that I had. 11 was way better. I tried 9, and it's like, I'm not going to buy that. Tried 10, not great, not going to buy that. 11, oh, wow, yeah, 11's good, yeah. So I bought a bottle of the 11. And then later, my brother was down there when 12 was out, and he managed to pick me up at 12, and which was great because when I got down there 2 months later, the 12 was gone. So I'm glad my brother picked me up one. But I am telling you what, man. So as good as 11 is, 12 is better. At least that's what I'm thinking. That's my first take on these bottles. I think that they are all really good. I'm happy with my purchase of all of these. I think that this $55 Founders from Chattanooga is a great pour for $55. It tastes a little on the young side, but it's gorgeous. It really is. It's very nice. It's got a great nose. It's got a strong nose. It's got a strong palate. It's zippy, wakes you up, right? I love the fact that they took their kind of dark notes in their main bourbon, and they've kind of mellowed it out with some other blending with others. The Yellowstone, $100. Took a flyer on it. It's really good. I gotta say, it's really good. Do I think it's worth $100? Yeah, I think it was a decent price. I don't have an issue with paying $100 for this. And yes, I would try the 2025 when it comes out, or at least when it shows up in my neighborhood anyway. So, and the Disco 12, you just heard me raving about it. It's $135, but so good. Better than the 11, and I'm gonna have to find this somehow into, as I continue to work my way through all my bottles here, try to figure out what is my best bottle. So then the next one here is I'm gonna do a blind of 8 of the blended whiskeys that I have, and personally I think that 12 is going to win it, but who knows? That's why we do a blind. You just never know what's going to happen. So there we go. These are my first impressions of these bottles that I just opened, and I think that all 3 of them are a buy. They're all great at their own price point. Well, there you go. Have a good one. Peace out.